Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Andy, my pronouns are they, them, and I go by Crow Stitcher here on YouTube and on Instagram and Twitch if I ever decide to stream again. That's a whole story. Welcome to everyone who might be new. I hope you enjoy the chaos. And welcome back to all of you who are coming back for my fourth Flosstube, I think this is. Um, Welcome back to the chaos. It's fun. It's a thing. So I've had so many comments and subscribers and likes, and I just want to take the moment to thank all of you. I've been rather overwhelmed. Everyone has been so friendly and nice and just welcoming. I do know I don't stitch a lot of common things, I suppose, style wise. So I wasn't sure what to expect, but everyone has been so welcoming, and it's wonderful. I feel like I have found my stitchy family. So I have a lot of shout outs to start off with today. I usually kind of talk a lot about the person, but there's a lot here, and there are more that haven't I didn't add to this. I'm saving for next time because it's already a long list. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into too much detail on everyone. I am going to put everyone and tag everyone in the description below so you can easily find them. Please give everyone uh, uh, subscribe. I keep wanting to say follow because I'm used to Twitch. Subscribe, like, go check them out, watch their videos. They're all wonderful people. I watch all of them. So, the first one I want to shout out, though, is my friend, Days. Hi, Days. From the UK, and he just put up his first floss tube the other day, a couple days ago, maybe Friday. And my brain just fell off the earth. He did a whip parade, and he has a wide variety of whips. He's got um, some reproduction samplers. He's got some Stanley Morrison dragons like I do. It's just a wide variety of stuff. So kind of no matter what you like, he's sort of got something. So go check him out. Give him some love. He was didn't want me to shout him out, but I do what I want, so shout him out anyway. So go check the Dace Man Zero. The next one I want to mention is the Nutty Nerdy Needle, who is Amy, and she's in Ireland, and a lot of great whips. My favorite one though is Fergus. It's a Highland cow, but charted by Pain Free Crafts, I believe. Go check the Nutty Nerdy Needle out. Stitching Addicted, Tanya, who's in New Zealand. Lots of full coverages, lots of wonderful whips, quite frankly. Is doing this huge Halloween Afghan, which I love. Love it. Go check Tanya out. The Crow River Stitcher is, I shouted out the other day, I believe, but I'm shouting her out again. She's the one I got the project bag from that I shared in my May plans, my Mania plans video. Uh, Wonderful thing. So many different projects. Again, it kind of has something no matter what your tastes are. Love it. Alma at Whittier Stitchers. Whittier Stitches. Excuse me. Oh my god. Whittier Stitch. Why can I not say this? Whittier Stitches. And started the Candy Sal. Um, which is kind of more an all-inclusive fancy lady, and I love it. So go check her out. Brenda and the Cereal Starter. They are so fun to watch. They interact. The way they interact with each other is great. I love watching them. I don't stitch anything that they stitch. They have a completely different style, but it is so fun to watch them and see their channel. Cross Stitch Mad Sarah, I believe, is in the UK as well. Um, only has 2 videos, I believe, last time I checked. So go shout her out. I'm shouting her out. Go check her out. Welcome Stitchery is 2 they're whips and sips, also known as. They have a drink, they share their cross stitch in the one owns, and I can't remember which one it is, but the one owns an LNS, so they do their floss tubes in there, and it's such great time. Again, lots of different variety and projects, and yeah, drink and cross stitch, absolutely. Crafty Rogue Gamer has, again in the UK, has such dark vibes. I love her stuff. I just kind of went through and binged all of her previous floss tubes. Go check her out. And Angie from the Second Wind Stitcher, as the last one I wanted to shout out. So, again, I know that was kind of quick and I didn't go into a lot of detail, but again, that was a lot of people, and I have more that I want to shout out next time that I'm finding and watching. Again, I'm watching all of them, so please go check them out in the description below and share some love. Share some love. So I have 14, I think, whips I worked on this past week. Got a lot of whips. I have a little bit of treasures that I want to show you. And maybe depending on the time, I'll talk about how I'm doing. I sort of have changed how not how I stitch, but how I'm going about it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it. Let's get into it though. We're here for the stitching. It's Monday, April 22nd. I almost said March 22nd, and that was not even. That's where my brain is. It's April 22nd. So the first whip I'm going to show you, I did this for a prompt for Fandom Stitching Central. That is completely, I didn't move this. Hold on, let me see if I can, no, move her over a bit. Real time editing, y'all. It's Halloween Fae. Let me see if I can get some stats for you. It's charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. And I think the artist is Amy Brown, if I remember correctly. Let me see if I can. I think it's Amy Brown. It is charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. I'm pretty sure it's Amy Brown. And I am 3.6% completed. Oh, that reminds me. I do also want to thank you all for, I've gotten some support on Ko-fi from a few of you, and I just want to thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. It really does. It helps me fund my treasure addiction. But Halloween Fae, this is where I started. Is it gonna focus? There we go. This was my start point. I tried to be better about taking start point pictures. It is more cream in real life. It looks kind of gray. Black and white in the picture for some reason, but it's not, I promise. But that's where I started. And I think I just did this for a BAP. It was for one of the weekly prompts, but I did the BAP option. Which way does it go? It goes this way. And so that's what I worked this for. I forgot my binder. Oops, I just knocked shit over. I'm organized. I know exactly what I'm doing, y'all. And this is where I am now. So a lot of background, as you can see, it does have some color in there. It's nice. It worked a little bit more in the wing, and then some more on this background. There's just a lot of background. I should be getting close to the leaf coming soon, but that's where I am. I'm stitching this 1/1 25 count easy count Lugano. I think it's 25 count. 1/1 full cross. I love this piece. I love Amy Brown's work. I love this piece. I can't wait till I get to more of the oranges. I still, as you can see, the wing, I'm still kind of in the black edging of the wing, so I haven't quite gotten to the orange bit yet, but I love this piece. So that was number 1. Oh. Okay. Again, I work on a lot of pieces every week, and a lot of them are for the Fandom Stitching Central prompts, which is great. It gets me to, I have a lot of full coverages. I'm thinking about doing a full coverage whip parade. Would y'all be interested in that? I have 84 whips at the moment, including all the 24 starts I have planned for May, and one that I have planned to start that the fabric isn't here for yet. So I will have 85 once the fabric comes in for that. So I feel like maybe splitting it up. I have 2 bins of full coverage and then 2 bins of everything else. So I'm thinking of doing a full coverage whip parade. But I have a lot of full coverages, and it forces me to, the prompts force me to get different ones out and work on them, because I can use the BAP option for everything, which is great. And I'm finding it to be really helpful because, oops, that's not right. There are a lot where I kind of, you know, I don't know what to work on a lot of times because I do have so many, and it kind of helps me figure that out. So I'm loving it. The next one I worked on is RBG Silhouette, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and this is what it will look like. Now the white is all supposed to be stitched. Don't focus on me, focus on the camera, please. There we go. I got this off of Etsy years ago, right after she died. I don't know if it's still available. I don't even know the shop I got it from. So, but I'm sure if you would search for it, you'd probably be able to find it if it's still there. It says, speak your mind even if your voice shakes. And it is all supposed to be stitched. However, I'm doing it a bit different. This is where I started. And this I got out just late at night, one night, because it's all nice and easy stitching. One color, I don't have to think about it. And I am not doing, as you can see, I'm doing it on a purple. So the purple, the thread you see is supposed to be black. And I'm not stitching the white. So that's where it was, and this is where it is now. I'm stitching this on 2/1 full cross on 18 count Aida of That's My Jam by Be Stitch Me. I don't know why I'm having such a problem saying this today. And the floss I'm using is Are You Complicit by Night Stalkers Calling. And this is where I am now. It is purple. I know the camera, there we go, sort of. The camera's making it look a bit more wine. But that's where I am now. And also, I normally don't keep needle minders with my projects, but I mean, if that wasn't the perfect needle minder for this project. I think it says Descent. It says Descent. It's not going to come up, but the top of the collar says Descent. So that's where I am. And this is the Floss by Night Stalker's Calling. It says, it's Are You Complicit? And it's a very soft, variegated purple and white. And I got it for something else and then decided not to use it, and then thought it would be perfect on this. There, it shows purple for a little bit before it changes back. So I am at, I don't know, what percent am I? Actually, it's not going to be accurate because I'm not stitching the white. I think for the bottom of the collar, I'm going to do 10 stitches. I don't know. But I'm at 19% if you count the white, which I'm not stitching. So I don't really know where I am, but that's what I worked on a couple nights, just because it's nice, like I said, easy. I don't have to worry about color changes. It's just long rows of stitching, and it was lovely. The next one I started, this was a new start. So I think I'm going to title this 24 New Starts Aren't Enough, because I did start 3 things this past week, even though I have 24 ready to go for May. But this is the Tea Dragon by Stanley Morrison, charted by Pain Free Crafts. And I had asked in one of my previous Flosstubes which of the 3 I should start. There's a coffee, a tea, and a hot chocolate. And tea won. So I'm going to start coffee and hot chocolate in May. And I started the Tea Dragon this past week. I love this. The greens are so wonderful. And I am stitching, I did this on, there was a prompt for stitch on something with a cup. And obviously, perfect for that. So I got, which way does it go? I think it goes this way. I got stitching it on black, Monaco. I did a center start, 1/1, 28 count full cross. Again, I do full crosses for everything I have, unless it's charted. The greens are showing up a bit more muted on camera, but they pop so well off of that. So this is Dragon. I know it doesn't look like Dragon. Hold on. But it's kind of like there-ish that I started. Maybe a little bit of the moon. So that's where that is. And I got about 800 stitches in on this because that was the prompt. I love it. It's my first time stitching black on black. And let me tell you, it's better than white on white. I didn't know how I had no idea how it would be, how I would like it. I don't know if I like it, but it's better than white on white. I will say that. For me, personally. All right, I need some coffee. Next up, I don't have a before picture of this because I worked on it when I was getting my hair cut. That needs to be bigger. Oh, I'm not going to be able to find it. Pink Vasangi, there we go. Damn it. There we go. I don't have a before picture because I started this when I was getting my hair cut and just forgot to take a before picture. But I can easily show you what I did. So I'm doing this 2/1 full cross on 80 count Ada. It's Morganite by Fiber on a Whim, and I'm using which is a light, doesn't really show up, but it's a light pink. And I am using DMC 3326, and it is Easter eggs by Happy Mood Point on Etsy. So this is where I am. Ta-da! This is where I am. So I had the top of the border done and the first egg done. So I got this egg complete and then started down on the third center egg at the bottom. And I'm loving this. This is going to go in our bathroom for Ostara next year. Love it. It's my first, well, I know the RBG piece I showed you is sort of tone on tone, but I started this one first. So this was my first tone on tone piece, and I am loving it. It's so fun to stitch. That's a nice easy one that I will take with me or use it when I'm for a candle making project or at night when I'm tired but I still want to stitch and it doesn't take a lot of thought. Okay. Next up, I got a lot of progress on this. I used this for 3 prompts maybe because I worked on the weekly prompts, but then I also worked on got almost all of the April monthly prompts done. This is a Thillian. It's one of the posters. Let me show you. I don't have it on the computer, but I can show you on here. Okay, that's nice, but I want to. There we go. That's also not what I want to do. I know how to use this, I promise. Okay. It is a Thillian by Thread of Magic, cross-stitch patterns I got on Etsy. It's one of the posters. You've probably seen this style poster a lot. There's a lot of them. A lot of Lord of the Rings ones. And I loved the purple and the green colors in this. Our living room, whatever you want to call it, family room downstairs is kind of a Hollywood Regency Gothic pink, not pink, purple and green. So I'm stitching this for down in there. And I love it. It's gorgeous. I'm at 5.1%. And I do have a before picture for this one because I was fancy. This is where it was before. This was my start point. Maybe if it'll focus. Come on now. There we go. I know it looks very blue. It doesn't photograph well. It doesn't show up on the camera as well. But that's where I was. And then here's where I am now. So I worked a lot. I did some of the green. And then I worked a lot in here. Got kind of all of this done. And then started up and did all of that. Colors are, and it's so fun to stitch. It's like, it's a great mix of block and confetti. It's not too confetti heavy, but it's not too just stitching thousands and thousands and thousands in a block. So it's a wonderful mix. And I'm stitching this 2/1 full cross on 18 count easy grid Ada. So that'll probably go away for a bit because I did do a lot on that. And like I said, I have a lot of full coverages. So I certainly have a lot of options for my prompts. We did just get the weekly prompts for this week, for week 4 for April. And I think all of them I'm going to use the Disney Plus BAP option for. So, yeah. This was a new start. This is Cake Shop. I used this for, I think, one monthly prompt. It's by Charting Creations. And the artist is Teresa Mather. It's dragons in a cake shop. How? I mean, oh, I love it. I love it so much. And as you can see, there's a lot of white. The cake over here is a lot of white. And then the top is a lot of white. And then there's white interspersed, obviously, throughout the rest of it. So I did choose, I didn't want to stitch all that white on white. That just wasn't happening. I got to 0.3%, and I am stitching this on 1/1 full cross on Storby Night, 25 count Lagana. And so it's a mottled gray, screen printed on it. I did a top left start. And so excuse me, I just thought that all that white would be so much nicer to stitch on something like this. So there will be a little bit that you can see, but it's mostly just to save me stitching all that white on white. And so I started top left. So I'm doing, I got basically the cherries done, or strawberries. They might be strawberries on the top, the very top left. Let me do this so you can maybe see a bit better. They might be strawberries. The top of that cake, like a strawberry shortcake. So I got that done, and a little bit of the cream underneath. Which, there you go, you can sort of see the little bit of cream. It has been so fun to stitch, and I'm liking how you can sort of block it off. Right? It's a full coverage, but you can stitch certain elements and focus on that element, fill it in, which I know there's still a couple, in the strawberries, there's still a couple stitches I have to fill in. But you can kind of go by elements in the design, and I'm really liking that. I think it's going to look so good. So that was a new start, which I had, again, planned for, and the fabric came in last week, towards the end of the week, and so I used that for a monthly BAP option prompt. For anyone who is newer or might not know, I actually had to look it up because I didn't know. BAP is big ass project, of which most of mine are, so you know, it is what it is. Crella was my next, well, these aren't in order, it's just the next in the bin. And Crella is charted by, it's Stained Glass Crow, I just call her Crella. Charted by Sharova Creations on Etsy. That is what she will look like. And I do have a before picture. So I'm using Crella. You will see Crella a lot. Crella is, so for the Fandom Stitching Central, it is a Facebook group on Etsy. Not on Etsy. It's a Facebook group on Etsy. Oh my God. Andy, get your shit together. It's a stitching Facebook group. And basically there's different prompts that you can use, and so there's weekly, monthly, and yearly, and you get points for finishing prompts, and then your points go to your team. There we go. That's what she looked like before. And the yearly prompt is you defeat Disney villains by stitching 4,000 stitches to defeat a villain. And I'm doing Crella. I've chosen her. I mean, it's fitting. It's all Disney themed, so Crella. And if you use the same, I think there's 12. I think there's 12 villains to defeat. And if you use the same project for each villain, you get extra points. So I chose Crella. I'm still working on defeating the first villain. I'm about a little over 2,000 stitches in. This is where she is now. And I got Crella to 7-point-something% floating. I got Crella to 7.8%. So she's almost at 8. And I worked a lot down here. So I'm going to focus probably the rest of the first 4,000 there, that area. And then, I don't know, I might move back over here for the next 4. I'm going to move around so I don't get bored of one place. I might move for the second villain. I might kind of come over here. I might work more this way, work down more. Maybe I might work down more in here, because this will start to get to Crella herself, kind of here-ish. So I don't know, I haven't decided, but I'm still going to do the second. Let me get this more so you can see close what I actually worked on. I'm going to get the second 2,000 more again in here. So I did a lot of all of this purple and filled in more of this purple, and then a lot of this blue and the black, which is the trees. If you see on the left side of the window, it's just tree branches. So that's what all of this is starting to be. Love her. Love her. And like I said, you will see her a lot because she is my yearly defeat the villains project. Because I want the extra points. And as a reminder, I know I say this in all my videos, but I just want to keep reminding because not everybody might have seen them. I know you might have noticed I give just percentage stats in my Flosstubes. I do keep track of all of my stitches per project for the week, and then total for the month that I give to my Ko-fi members. That is either tier. At the end of the month, beginning of the next month, I post the previous month's stats. So you get every single project I worked on, how many stitches I did on every single project, weekly totals, monthly totals, and then I also have a countdown from 4 million. I have multiple WIP spreadsheets. When my first spreadsheet got to 4 million, a total of 4 million stitches to do, I stopped. And then anything else I added on another spreadsheet and we are doing a countdown from 4 million. And so Ko-fi members get those stats as well every month. How much I've chipped away at that. Yeah. This next one was another new start. I did post this on my Instagram yesterday, I think. This I just started because I wanted to. This had nothing to do with any prompts or anything. This is the Ukrainian Quaker flag by Vivian Powers, Vivsters. You can get it on her website. You can also get it on her Etsy site. I'm doing 2/1 full cross on just a white 14 count Ada. I know I've mentioned it before. Oh God. I know I've mentioned it before. It goes this way. But I'm about 60% of Ukrainian heritage, and with the war going on, I like to do what I can to keep it in people's minds, I guess, because a good way to say it, because it's been a number of years by now, and I just feel, when it first started, it was everywhere, and there was a lot of support. And as the years have waned on, so has just everything. So has awareness of it and whatnot. So I'm stitching this not only to honor my heritage, but also, again, to just bring awareness back to the war and the situation going on over there. This was a new start, so I did all of this. There is no before picture. I'm using all the charted colors. It's just 995, 939, which isn't in there yet, and then I don't know what the orange is. That is not orange, that is yellow. Jesus. I don't know what the yellow is. Give me a second. $444. So I'm using all the charted colors. DMC, I'm at 2.2% complete. I'm enjoying this. You can see that there is a slight dye lot issue. I'm just rolling with it. It's unique. It brings its own uniqueness and personality, and quite frankly, I like it. We're just gonna leave it there. It shows up more on the camera, I think, than it does in person, but I don't care. I finished out this was finishing out a bobbin, and then this was the start of another. So I don't have any more of this color, and I think everything I have now, at least, is this color, or hue, I should say. So I don't feel like frogging all of this to make it match this, essentially, is what I'm saying. And I don't think it looks that bad. We're leaving it. Even if it did look bad, we're leaving it. So there's a lot of these flags. I've seen a lot of people stitch the US flag, the Canadian flag, the UK flag. I think Tanya is stitching the New Zealand flag. I might have seen another flag that someone is stitching, but I've not seen this one. This is the first time I've seen the Ukrainian flag, and I don't usually do Quaker things. I'm having such a fun time with this, though. How each motif is different, and they all kind of go together. I'm having such a fun time with this so far. And I also got the fabric that I am waiting for, that has not come in yet, is I also got the LGBT plus flag. So when fabric comes in for that, I'm going to be starting that. That is going to be my 85th whip. So those are the two Vivster flags I got. I had such a great time with that. Again, that's nice, easy stitching that I can just do when I'm tired or late at night, early in the morning when I'm not quite awake yet. And it's been great. Okay, the next one, I finally have the appropriate picture. This is Crow Among Purple Flowers. Artwork is by Simonetta Zambelli. It's charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. This I used for a prompt. One of the, gosh, was it the monthly? Might have been one of the monthly prompts. Was to stitch on something that would make a lovely perfume. And so I thought the flowers that the crow is in the middle of would make a lovely perfume. So that was my starting point. Again, top left corner. Now you can actually see, if you watch my last Flosstube, not the Flosstube Extra, but Flosstube 3, I had the cropped picture. So all the purples you see in the sky were not included in that. And I am stitching this version, the full version. So that's where I was. Now you can actually see what the sky looks like and why I wanted the full version, because it does bring up the purples from the flowers to the top of the piece, which I thought was lovely. And this is where I am now. That's Xena. You can probably hear her. She just got up. Well, she got up and then she had her morning nap and now she's getting up again. So this is where I am now. Is it going to focus? There we go. I love the clouds, how the light in the purples and the sunset in the sky. It's so fun. It's so fun to stitch. I'm doing this 1/125 count, full cross on easy count, Lugana. I can't wait to get to the center of the sky, and the lighter purple clouds, how it reflects off of that, and then of course the crow. And in the last time I showed this, I talked about how I name my cross stitches. And I have Crella, which you have seen, and I have a Crowanna, which you have not seen, and I have a Raisin the Raven. And I asked what we should name this guy. And Crowley. His name's Crowley. It's funny because I had thought of that because I love Good Omens, and I had thought about naming a crow Crowley, and then forgot that I thought of that. And then I shared the Ineffable Husband piece that I purchased in my treasures last time, and someone commented, well, since the Good Omens theme, why don't you call him Crowley? And I was like, oh my god, I had thought of that and then completely forgot. That's perfect. So, meet Crowley. Say hello to Crowley. Hello. So, if I refer to Crowley, that's who I'm talking about in the future. The next one I worked on was Mushroom Tea Ghost, aka Martha. This is by Raven Coven. Excuse me, Raven Coven. And I do not have a before picture. Well, I have sort of a before picture. I started stitching and, oh no, I don't. Do I even have it? I started stitching. I don't. I think I deleted it because it was just her ass. I started stitching and then forgot to take the full before picture, and then took a picture of, so no, long story short is I don't have a before picture. It doesn't need all that explanation. Andy, just show the mushroom. So this is by Raven Coven, Mushroom Tea Ghost. I call her Martha. Last time I had pretty much last time I had basically finished her butt and had just a tiny bit of the top of the teacup. So this past week I filled in a lot of this black, a lot of the back of the teacup there, and then started working down this way. And I'm at, I didn't give you stats on Crowley. Please hold. Crowley is 0.6%. And Martha, I got to 53.6%. So she's coming along, and I do want to finish her this year. And then I have a whole other half of that fabric. The fabric is by A Wicked Stepmother. It is, I think, 14 count. And it's Ada. I'm doing 2 over 1 full cross. I don't remember what it was called. It was a one-off. Again, a nice easy stitch that I like to bring out early in the morning or at night. So what I decided, I'll talk about that after I'm done showing whip. We still have whips. We still have things to show. The next one, and again, this is all since my last Flosstube, y'all. A week of stitching. I stitch a lot. I stitch when I'm making my candles for my business, and then I have to be doing something, so I stitch. How am I doing this? I have a before picture of this one, I'm pretty sure. Okay. This is by Sharova Creations. It's a retired, you cannot get it anymore. It's Ring of Power. This was my before. A lot of 310, and then a little bit of the map down at the bottom, which has more 310. And I used this for a couple prompts. I'm really glad I purchased this, because I think right after I purchased it, it was no longer available. We're gonna back up. That's where I am now. And I know I've talked about before how I don't like to do page by page. Come on, there's a lot of fabric. There's a lot of fabric to wrangle here. But if you notice, I did a lot of page by page coming down, and now I've started to go everywhere. And the reason is because I wanted to get to something that wasn't black. That wasn't 310. The first 4 pages horizontally, the first 4 are solid 310. Then I got a little bit of brown in here, like 3371. And then it went back to 310. And then now I'm finally getting into where the map is, on the left side where the compass is. So that's the reason I did pages down, is because if I had gone this way, it still would have been black, and I wanted to get out of that. I love 310. I love black. But there's only so much I can stitch at one time. So now that I am more into, and when you're stitching that much 310 and you get to the 3371, it just looks like 310. You don't see a difference. At least I don't. So I wanted to get further into the piece so that I could go other places. And I'm stitching this 1 over 1 full cross on 25 count easy grid Lugana. And so I worked down here more, I worked in through here more, and more of this. Filled in a lot of the confetti. I found a color I don't have, so I have to order it. So I filled in more of the confetti up here, and then I'm just slowly working down and now over. So I used this for a couple prompts as well, for the BAP option. So I love Lord of the Rings. I love this piece. It is by, like I said, Shrova Creations on Etsy. It is no longer available though. And the fabric is like a bedspread. I am at, it's going to take a little while to load. So let me get it loading while I'm finishing folding up the bedspread here. I know I'm not going to, and I've said this before, I'm not going to finish all my full coverages. This is one I want to finish. This one, Crella, and Lothlorien, which I showed in, I think, my first Flosstube, are three kind of, I want to say musts because, you know, a lot of shit can happen. But they're the three that I would like to finish and kind of am aiming to finish out of all of them. I would like to finish more, but you know, it is what it is. I'm at 3.5% on this one, and there is a total of 560,439 stitches. So that's one of my biggest boys. Next one was for a prompt. I think it was a monthly prompt, and it was stitched on either a ghost or a haunted house. And I had not worked on this for a little while, so I got out my Snow Globe Haunted House by Raven Coven. And I do have, I like Raven Coven if you haven't noticed. I do have a before picture. Like I said before, if you're goth and kind of more into dark things, Raven Coven, go check them out. That's where I was before. I did a center start on this one, and I'm doing 1/1 full cross on 28 count. Easy grid Lugana. And this is where I am now. So I worked a lot in filling in this part here, a lot up here. I kind of went down over here because I'm almost at the right side. Yeah. And then I worked a little bit more up in here into the moon. This, I know you can't really see it, but that's all stitched. And I'm loving the darkness, but the color as well. How the light plays in the windows. It's really fun. It's really fun to stitch. It is full coverage, but it's not a huge piece. I think there's about 15,000, something like that, total stitches, and I'm at, okay, I lied, 22,000, but still, not a huge full coverage, and I'm at 13%. So that was for a prompt. Then I worked on, I did a couple prompts for this as well. You guys have seen this before. Rosie Santa. Charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Shabby Charm Art. And I'm stitching it 1/1 on 20 count opalescent Aida. White Aida. Full cross. Someone did ask in the comments that they had heard someone else say that this was an AI chart. And they couldn't find the artist, and so I looked up Shabby Charm Art. They are on Etsy. I did answer I did reply to the person, but just so to let all of you know as well. I found them on Etsy. Everything is in this style. It's a lot of very whimsical kind of pinkies, teals, whimsical art. They do, it says that they use a combination of humans and AI to create their artwork. So just so you know, that's what I found out about them. But it was, this chart is based on, and you can find it on Etsy, the Rosie Santa. And basically what you can do is download, or like purchase it and download, and then, you know, use it for a print, or if you want to make cards or whatever you'd want to use the artwork for, which I thought was kind of interesting. But it is based on the Rosie Santa from them. So this was my start. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's sort of tone on tone, but a lot of the background, it is full coverage, and I am stitching on the background because I'm doing it on the opalescent fabric, and I'm doing 1/1 full cross, like I said earlier, and I wanted some of the sparklies to come through, which does not show up on camera, but this is where I am now. And so I worked kind of more in the the background, I don't know, it's not sky, worked more in here, and then came down. This is where the bit of berries starts to come in, right above the big leaf on the top left of the frame. So I'm gonna start to get into more visible things now, which is fun. I love the colors in this. Again, I'm stitching this for our bathroom to put it up for Yule. Not this Yule, but hopefully a future Yule. You know, you have big dreams. Big dreams. Big dreams. Gotta have a dream to make a dream come true. Isn't that from some musical? I don't know. Anyway, stop talking. Andy, stop talking and just show the stitching. So that's where I am. I love it. I love how the opalescent does come through. Again, like I said, you can't really see it on the camera, but in person it does come through the full coverage, and I love it. I love it. This one I got to, I don't know, it's loading. That is not what I want. I got to 0.7%. And there's over 315,000 stitches in this. So I got a ways to go. But I feel like as I get more into it, and I know there's still a lot of background, and obviously the beard, there's a lot of white. There's a lot of white on white. But hopefully once I get more into it, it'll go a bit quicker. And then the last one I have to show you is still in a Q-snap because I was working on it this morning. It is Beetlejuice Ghost Zombie Jesus from Raven Coven. And I'm stitching it 2/2 full cross on something. Wrath by Witch's Garden Crafts, and it's 28 count even weave. And the last time I showed this, I have a before picture because I'm fancy. So here is where I was. I had basically Ombi, and a little bit of his hair done. Come on, focus. There we go. Ombi. And a little bit of the hair. And the last time I showed this, I wasn't sure if I was going to stitch the white. I wasn't sure if I was going to stitch and just do black and have the fabric show through, or if I was going to stitch the white. And as you can see, I decided to stitch the white. This is where I am now. So I got the E done. It now says Ombi, and I still have to do the rest of the Z. I got a lot of the hair here and started on his eye. And then I did decide to stitch the white. And so I did all of the white that you see. Because, as you can see by my nails, I went for Beetlejuice themed nails. And the white and black are really stripes are what's sort of iconic of Beetlejuice, right? When you the white and black striped suit is Beetlejuice, right? And so I felt if I didn't stitch the white and left it wouldn't have looked like Beetlejuice, even though it was. So I'm stitching the white. I made that executive decision. This morning, I was adding some white in. So that's how far I got. And I love this fabric. Can we just take a moment with just garden crafts, y'all, on Etsy? Look at that fabric. Look at it. It's oh, I love it. Okay. So, I want to talk about that's all my whips, finally, that I worked on this past week. I want to talk about how I had, okay, words are hard. I had kind of taken a note from Jen the Caffeinated Crafter, who I will tag below. Let me actually make a note because I won't remember because she's not on my list. And Jen. And she has milestones where she has goals that she sets out for each project that she has for the year, like big goals. And then broke those goals down into milestones. So let's say she had a goal of 2,000 stitches on a project for the year. She would break that down into smaller milestones of, let's say, 500. So there would be 4 milestones of 500 stitches to get to the 2,000. Make sense? And I liked that because it gives you something to work towards in the meantime before you get to the big goal, right? Because especially for a lot of my whips are bigger pieces. They're full coverages. They're, 150,000 or more stitches. And so to say, oh, I want to get a decent chunk in to make the number go up, the percentage go up, right? You could be working on that forever and feel like you're not getting anywhere. And so I liked the idea of the milestone because it gave you smaller things to work towards, to say, okay, yeah, I'm not at my big goal yet, but I've done 2 milestones. So I've got that much done and I have this many to go till I get there. And so I've been doing that and I like that. But for me, that works more for, I know how many stitches I want to do on a piece. And a lot of my full coverages, I do percentages, which I can figure out, obviously. I know I can figure out 5% would be 21,489 stitches or something like that, right? But then breaking that up into milestones that are even, it doesn't work. And I like things to be even. So a lot of my full coverages, I'll say, oh, I want to get, so for example, Ring of Power, I want to get to 5% on that this year. Crella, I think I wanted to get to well, this is going to be different because I'm using her for the yearly prompts, but I think my original was to get to 10% or 15% or something. So I do percentage goals for all my full coverages. And so I believe it was Tanya. Yeah, Stitching Addicted, Tanya, in New Zealand. I believe it was her, where she has. I don't even think she showed the wheel. I was watching her latest Stitch with me, and she was working on a Casper piece, which was adorable. I loved it. And she said, I just mentioned about, oh, I think I have to do 1,000 on the, or maybe I only pulled 800. And so she didn't show the wheel or how she picks it, but basically she'll have a piece and she has so many different, and whatever it lands on or whatever she pulls is the number of stitches she does on it. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea. So I made a wheel. Let me show you. I made a wheel, and it's 200 to 800 stitches by the 100. So 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And for full coverages, if I'm not using it for a prompt, there we go. So if I'm stitching on something that's not for a prompt, because the prompts have a number of stitches you need to do, and I'm working on a full coverage, or I'm working on a piece that I want to have finished this year. So for example, Beetlejuice, I want to finish this year. So I'm not going to break it into milestones. I decided to spin my stitches wheel, and whatever number of stitches it lands on is how many I will do for that project till I put it away and get something else out. So I landed on 600 for Beetlejuice, so I still have, I think, a couple hundred to do left before I can put this away and get something else out. And I'm liking it so far because I don't have to worry about keeping track of milestones. I just keep doing that until I get to the percentage for a full coverage or the finish for something like this that I want to have finished for the year. And so it's fun. I like it. Sometimes it landed, well, the other day it landed on Martha and I landed 200. So I put 200 in her and then put her away and got something else out. I think I got the Ukrainian Flag out. And so it's fun. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's fun because I still have oops, I just lost my needle. I still have the milestones for things that I want to get a certain number of stitches in. So something that's not full coverage that I don't really necessarily want to finish this year, but that I want to get 4,000 stitches in. I still have milestones for that, which I use and I like, but anything else that's not for a prompt, that's either full coverage or something I want to have finished, I just spin the wheel and I keep going until I hit the goal. And I love it. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate my needle minder, my Mandrake needle minder from Witches? This is not from Witches. This is from Agnes Needle Minders. And look at the needle fits in his mouth. How adorable! He's chewing the needle. Anyway, so that's how I'm approaching things now, and it's working for me so far, and I like it. The last, we're almost done. If you do not care about my treasures, that is all. Bye. I'll see you next time. If you do care about my treasures, I have a few, not a lot, a few things to show you. Four charts. This is The Raven by Yasmin. Yasmin's Made with Love. Yasmin Boot bike. God, I probably butchered that. I apologize. Yasmin's made with love, and it's just called Raven. And if this isn't me, I don't know what is. I'm going to stitch it probably on a purple. Probably not the called for, but I'm going to stitch it on a purple to put in our Victorian Goth purple and black foyer. So I got that. The next is Venetian Lion by Dirty Annie's Southern Style. And I love this piece. I've not seen anyone else show this. I've not seen anyone else stitch this. That doesn't mean that they aren't out there. I just haven't seen them personally. And I love it. I love the colors. I love the reds and the golds and the black. It's like a Victorian, goth. I don't know. I know it says Venetian, but whatever. To me, it's a Victorian goth lion. I might make the background of the lion gray or black instead of the blue, because I'm not really about the blue. But I do love the piece it's stitched on. It's stitched on, the called for is Nutmeg from Atomic Ranch. So I might actually get that because I love that. Next is from Le Petit Croix. It's seasonal. It's from the seasonal collection. It's the Halloween window. And again, this should come as no surprise to any of you that I wouldn't want to stitch this. I love it. Love it. And the last one I got, I believe, was from Market as well. And again, I've not seen anyone show this. Like, not to say that no one has, that it's not out there. I just personally, again, have not seen it. It's Marie Curie from the Primitive Hair. And it's from Women Who Made History. There must be a series. I'm not sure. And it says, Marie Curie, 1867 to 1934. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Science. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I don't know what I'm going to stitch this on yet. But I love it. I might go for more of a, I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't even really thought about it. But those are my 4 treasure patterns. And then the last treasure I got is stitching related, I promise. I house my extra bobbins in here. And because I'm going with the vintage goth 70s vibe, I'm getting vintage tins to house stitching things in. So this one houses my bobbins, and then we're actually going to go out today. I'm going to go out today and to a local antique shop and see if I can find some more. I want some for my scissors. I want some for just, little extra, like needles, extra bits and bobs that I want to keep together but separate, right? So I don't want my bobbins mixed in with anything else. That makes sense. Makes sense to me, and that's all that matters. And it's this lovely brown and gold. I love it. So that was my treasure for my bobbins. So if I find more today, I'll show them next time. Okay, so I think that's it. This was a long one. I think that's it. I'm done talking. I need to drink and I need to go get something to eat. Again, thank you all so much. I've really been taken aback by all the support. I love all of you. I keep finding more people to watch and it's incredible. It's like family. It's a family and I love it. Thank you to all of those who shouted me out. I know there was a couple. I think I probably shouted all of you out before. So I don't want to do it again because, like I said, I have all these other people too. But I really appreciate all of you who did shout me out. We kind of keep just going back and forth with the shout outs. And I appreciate it so, so much. I think I'm going to do the... Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see the full coverage whip parade. If you do, I'll do that this week as a extra, Flosstube extra. And if not, I will see you next Monday, a week from now, with all of the things that I worked on. And if I have any treasures, I don't know. I'm kind of slowing down on the treasures. So we'll see. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me know. Let me know if you want to see the full coverage whip parade. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe, click the bell if you haven't already, like the video, comment. I love your comments. I love hearing what you're working on, hearing your thoughts, etc. It's just so, I do read everyone's comments, and each video I do, I'm getting more, and it's so fun. It makes me so happy. So yeah, until next time, happy stitching, y'all. We'll see you next time.